For the last 4 years, L'Oreal Paris Canada has acknowledged women across the country who have done outstanding things in their community.
Whether it has to do with, food insecurity, house insecurity, troubled youth, domestic violence, bringing Black mothers together. There's so many different causes that we've honored.
Tanya Hales from Black Moms Connection is one of the women who received this title and honor early this year.
Black Moms Connection started as a Facebook group in 2015, and we have grown to over 20,000 women worldwide, what I call our online global village. And we're also an incorporated nonprofit providing culturally relevant tools, resources, programs for Black moms and their families.
The idea for this online community was sparked 5 years ago.
I was at a splash pad with my son, who's around 2, and I wondered, do they make sunscreen for Black skin? I was in Facebook groups for motherhood, but I wasn't going to be able to ask the culturally relevant questions, right? Things that were unique to me as a Black mother that I was going to have to deal with. So I asked 12 of my friends, hey, if I started this thing, would you join? They said yes, and the rest is history.
In the spring of 2016, Tanya says this community grew from 400 to 4,000. They now have chapters across Canada, the U.S., and in September, they launched an Asia chapter. During the pandemic, this virtual village has been helpful for many mothers.
We were a virtual village before COVID, and now that was all we had. COVID, has rendered it really that much more difficult. Black women do make less in the workplace than they do for their white women counterparts. We know about the wage gap here in Canada. So, having the support to say, hey, I need money for formula. Hey, my car broke down and I need to get to work. These things have become that much more important and urgent. And so having the ability to give them funds through our emergency grant that we launched this year has been so great for us. The explosion of this racial revolution, especially this past summer, made BMC as an organization that much more important. People were looking at us to say, how do we talk to our children about race? Because you guys have always had to do that. And so we created the resource page on our website because we kept getting those questions.
Tanya says despite this year being a difficult one, her most memorable moment was receiving the Women of Worth honor from a worldwide brand like L'Oreal.
It was really so validating and one of the most kind of memorable moments of my life for sure.
Coming up, we'll tell you another story about a woman who started a shelter for those impacted by domestic violence. For the last 4 years, L'Oreal Paris Canada has acknowledged women across the country who have done outstanding things in their community.
Whether it has to do with, food insecurity, house insecurity, troubled youth, domestic violence, bringing Black mothers together. There's so many different causes that we've honored.
Lynn Rosiechuck, founder of Jesse's House and the Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation, is one of the women who received this title and honor early this year.
Jesse's House is a 9,200 square foot safe house for families fleeing domestic violence. My daughter was living in a really abusive relationship, and we were trying to get her out, and we had phoned some of our local shelters. Well, actually, there wasn't a local shelter in our area, so the closest area would have been Edmonton to us, and they were always full. She was often told she would have to wait 2 to 3 months to be able to get in, and when families decide to leave, they need a place today, not 2 months from now. So anyway, we were never successful in being able to find her a safe place to go. The day that we were supposed to get her out, her husband found out about it and went home and killed her in front of her 3 children.
Lynn says it's always been a dream of hers and her daughters to build a shelter in their community of Morinville, Alberta, which is roughly 30 kilometers north of Edmonton. The shelter opened its doors in May of this year, and it serves women and men of all ages.
Tragically, she will never get to see this place, but it's a place where she, I know, would truly love, because we are being able to help a lot of amazing families here.
Lynn says the honor and platform from L'Oreal has really shed light on her daughter's story and domestic violence.
The Jessie story went out all over the world. We had people from Switzerland to Haiti to Mexico. It was just unbelievable how many people actually followed our story through L'Oreal, and I'm truly grateful for that.
We really want to give them this platform to shine that spotlight on their causes, give them more exposure, but also celebrate them as women and thank them for all they're doing, to make their communities, to make Canada, better.
To date, L'Oreal Paris Canada has honored 40 women, and they're looking to acknowledge 10 more. Nominations are now open, but they will close on January 5th. To get your nominations in, you can simply go to our website, citynews.ca, under extras, and there's a link there. For City News, I'm Stella Acquisto.